Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over this very entertaining article titled Life Without Men. And a big shout out to Mark for sending me this article. And guys, this article is written by a guy, and he decided to, just for fun, create a situation what it would be like in a world without men. And he got this idea because he observed one too many times various social media posts and articles and things like this written by angry ones, as I call them, from the movement. They talk all the time about, oh, we don't need men, life without men, blah, blah, blah. Men are only good for sperm, that type of mentality. So for the fun of it, he brainstormed and thought of all these different scenarios, what the world would be like if guys suddenly disappeared and things were left to the ladies to take care of everything. And as you can probably imagine, after this article, because it's open for commentary, it was tons and tons of comments from gals all over the world that didn't find this as funny as I did, and obviously didn't realize that there was some serious element to this. He was also joking around and got all bent out of shape about this. So I made sure to copy a few of those comments to read to you guys. But I'm going to go through this here. It's definitely clever. It's definitely entertaining. And there is a lot of truth to what he writes here. So it starts off. He says, imagine if all of a sudden men disappeared. You can rest assured they are alive and happy and well on a place of existence and are going to be back for insert time. They are gone. What would you ladies do in that time? I've probably seen a dozen or so posts and variations on them in my social media feeds over the past month. Usually they come from some feminist account or group and one of my many friends or people I generally follow comments on it. Sometimes it just pops up in recommendations for reasons known only to the algorithms. Today it popped up again, and I couldn't stop myself from quickly jumping through the comment section. You can probably guess the most common and popular answers, considering there wasn't much opposition to the idea that such a disappearance would be an unprecedented, unimaginable, and the most miraculous blessing to all gals around the world. You know, it really shows just how bad things have gotten, and so much disdain out there when this guy's observing articles like that, and people posting things like that. Now, some people may say, well, hey, look what you do. Some people accuse me of all sorts of things. I mean, yesterday, I did a response video to this hate email I got from some gal who most certainly falls into one of those groups and accused me of this, accused me of that, and hating on all men. And I made it clear, it's a funny thing to read. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw that. I made it clear, look, I'm here to help guys out in a really messed up world, and I point out all the BS that's out there, and I encourage guys to better themselves, and you guys get the point. Many of you saw the video, and you know what I talk about here on this channel. But a lot of those websites and social media groups that this guy's talking to, there's serious venom there. And it's like, what happened to you people that you're that angry? I mean, really. Now, you want to say that all the guys are gone and you can handle it yourselves? Well, good luck there. This guy's going to point these things out. He says, I don't know why, but after this particular post and some nudging from the fact that hashtag life without men would be is trending on Twitter again, I finally decided to break a few feminist dreams and lay out a scenario of what's likely to happen if such a disappearance really took place for any substantial length of time. Let's say for convenience, it's 6 months, half a year, 183 days. So ladies and gents, strap in, this is going to be a ride. He says, you wake up in the morning and all the men are gone. You know they are fine, in case you actually care, and you know they will be gone for half a year. If you want to indulge in a cry of relief, because you can now stop worrying or even fearing harassment or any other possible problems with men for the next 6 months and jump into a celebratory dance, go ahead. You can also spend a short while dreaming about how you are going to go for a walk around the neighborhood and not have to worry about anything. At night, wearing anything you want, awesome, isn't it? Of course, there's still the matter of violence and problems coming from the gals, but we can forget about that for a little while now. But I would urge you to not indulge in that celebration and daydreaming for too long. You have some very urgent matters to attend to. Yeah, anyway, he talked about, like, oh, you can go out and wear whatever you want. Well, guess what? Now that it's just all gals, factions are going to come about, mark my words, And let's be honest about the whole going out and wearing whatever you want. Last time I checked, if you ever been around some gals at a party, a gathering, or whatever, they like to talk about other women. They like to criticize. Oh, God, did you see her shoes? Oh, God, did you see her outfit? Oh, God, did you see that shirt she was wearing? Oh, that's so revealing. And on and on and on. The biggest shit talkers aren't guys. They're gals. And you hear all the time the negativity of the guys' locker room talk and, oh, that's so bad, blah, blah. Let me tell you something. You get a bunch of girls together, especially if they're drinking, and their equivalent of locker room talk is way worse than a bunch of guys together. Let me tell you. And I know many of you know what I'm talking about. And for any women that watch me and like what I do, you know I'm right. Anyhow, he says, first and foremost, I suggest you run to your closest bike store and buy at least one. More if you can spare the money. You already have a bike, buy a spare and at least lots of spare parts. You never know when this might break down. And a couple really good bike locks. Trust me, bikes are going to be very valuable in the next 6 months. You don't want to be without one. Skateboards and scooters are good too, but not nearly as good. You want a good, sturdy, reliable bicycle. Why? Because in a day or two, once the gas in the cars and nearby gas stations run out, that bike will be the best mode of transportation you'll have. And it will allow you to carry at least some amount of goods as well. What could he possibly mean that all of a sudden the gas stations are going to run out of gas? Could it be that the way to have the gasoline delivered to the gas stations is going to cease because, let's be honest here, the dudes that drive those vehicles are men and pump the gas are men, and the whole process of getting gasoline to the gas station and putting your car drive around are men? There you go. There's one of them. Now, yes, women can do those types of things, the physical work, but do they want to? No. That's beneath. Or other types of manual labor? It's beneath. Sure, we all have hands and legs, can move around and lift things and all that, but it doesn't mean you want to. He says, speaking of goods, next time you need to hit the local food and grocery store, that will probably be already quite crowded. So you need to rush. You need to buy food and basic necessities. Lots of them. As much as you can take and carry. Water, food, batteries, toilet paper. If you really want to be clever, buy a solar panel and a generator. By the way, if you really want to, you can just grab all those things and run out of the store. There's no security and barely any police around to stop you, and all the other people are probably too busy stocking up anyway. Why do you need all that stuff? Well, because those stores are not getting restocked anytime soon, and you can't survive 6 months on what you already have in your refrigerator or freezer. While you're doing those runs, I suggest you take a moment, sit down, and make a plan. Why? Everything is going to be fine, right? Sorry, no. For the first day or two, things might be okay. Of course, the cars will run out of gas pretty soon, and the stores will not get resupplied because there's no gas available for the trucks and almost no one to drive them anyway. Again, generally speaking, you look around, you see delivery trucks of any type of goods or service. Who's driving them? Let's be honest here. Guys, can women drive? Of course. Do they want to? No. And even in the era of equality, believe me, they don't want those types of jobs. Whenever you're in your car, guys, and you see road work being done, construction, if you do see a gal out there, it's usually she's the one standing there holding the sign that says stop, where you stop your car, and the other lane, the cars drive down the single lane, and then she turns it around and says go. That's usually what you see. Can she, if she wanted to, can she operate a jackhammer? Yes. I mean, she might kind of be going all over the place, but there are big gals. I've seen girls at the gym do some very impressive squats and very impressive deadlifts. So women can train to have strength, but it takes a hell of a lot of training to get that strength, then do different types of jobs. The point is, if absolutely necessary, the jobs can be done. But do they want to? Oh, hell no. And in this scenario, when there's a 6 months without any dudes anywhere, there's going to be hierarchies. Guaranteed. And you know what I'm getting at here. And believe me, before that's all figured out, how to handle it, it's pandemonium. It continues. Then things will start breaking. The biggest two, of course, are power and running water. It's astonishing how easy and often power lines go down or water water mains bust. Not to mention how delicate all that automation is that is running those things and how it can be shut down. Everything can shut everything down or cause an accident, which amounts to the same thing really. It's not constantly monitored and maintained by well-trained specialists, 99% of whom are now gone and will not be back for half a year. So yes, electricity, water mains, the whole 9 yards. Again, who operates those things? Who are the specialists? Now some people can say, oh, well, people can learn how to do it. Yeah, but who's there to teach them? See what I mean? It's not like there's manuals just sitting around learning how to fix this, fix that. Again, can anybody do these types of things if well-trained? I would imagine so. But do they want to? That's a different ballgame. In a few days, a week if it goes really well, the power will go out. All of it. First, some power lines are going to go down, but what really hits hard is the power plant shutting down. That's why I suggest buying a solar panel. At least it will allow you to charge something, like flashlights, a small electric cooker, an electric teapot to boil water. Speaking of water, the water main will shut down as well, probably even sooner. Hope you get enough drinking water from the stores and warehouses while there is some left. Once that happens, all hell is going to break loose. Remember, when you thought the majority of violent crime is going to disappear because the men are gone? Well, now there will be a lot of desperate, hungry, and thirsty gals around who really want to live and hardly any police to stop them from doing whatever desperate people do in those situations. There you go. Now, yes, you can have female police officers, but still, all hell's breaking loose. There's no water, no electricity, no gas, no access to food. It's going to be chaos. And so you're going to need a whole lot of police there keeping order if they're not panicking themselves. There's also going to be the issue of smell. Not just from the people who don't have access to regular showers and soap. That's the least of their problems. Mounds of uncollected garbage in the streets and clogged and busted sewer lines, that is much worse. But really, why would you be that worried about such things at that point? Yeah, the smell is horrible because there's no sanitation workers because obviously I can't remember the last time I saw a female sanitation worker picking up garbage or operating the trucks that has the machines that picks up the garbage bins and launches them into the back of the truck. Maybe a world without men doesn't seem like such a good idea after all. He says, so my suggestion would be to get the hell out of town. Get as many reliable and good friends as you can, get some good camping gear, pack everything, and possibly take with you and get out. If there's still any gas left in your tank of your car, great. You're in luck. You can take more stuff. Find a spot near a river. Water is your first priority. Set up tents and shelters. Build a greenhouse and start seeding and growing vegetables. You'll need all the food you can get. And prepare yourselves. 6 months have just started. Good luck, and you'll need it. This was clever. Now, guys, this now obviously shows that, guess what? Regardless how many may think, we do need each other for different things. And unless somebody sat down and said, okay, in 6 months, all the guys are going to disappear, and so you all need to assign tasks for all you guys to do and learn how to operate when guys are gone, which, guess what? That would never happen. The world would go to hell in a handbasket. Absolutely. So guess what? They need men. They need us for many, many, many reasons, and this isn't just a case that we're just good enough for our sperm, because this guy laid out pretty well. Now, as you can imagine, there were a lot of people that label this guy some pretty nasty things. No surprise there, because this guy's having fun and joking around, having a good time here, but with a serious twist here. But a lot of people would talk about World War II. They'd say, okay, in World War II, in the United States, when the men were going off to war, the women went to the factories and did all these things. And yes, they did. But let me tell you, that was also a time period where the majority of work was physical labor one way or another. Number two, so that was already kind of ingrained. That's what you do when you work. Number two, the world was at war. And so they wanted to help participate, to help do their part, to ensure we won. And so they're taking care of their families, themselves, their loved ones. There's that element there. And the third thing is they felt like they were helping their guy. Their husband, their sons, their brothers, their uncles, their cousins, their friends, sons, whatever, are off at war. And by them being in the factories and working and helping, in a way, this is them helping them overseas and helping bring them back home. But in a world where sharply divided and these types that pretty much hated all men, they're not going to work hard to bring guys back. Oh, no. And they could say self-preservation and surviving. Okay, fine. But again, we all know how well you get a bunch of gals together and it can be not so good. I did an article last June about a woman in the UK who worked in, I believe, advertising. And she got tired of the industry where so many guys had the advantages and blah, blah. So she decided, oh no, it was fashion. It was the fashion industry. She decided she was going to start a company with just all women. No guys. And I don't know how she got around the discrimination issues, but okay, fine. This is a true story. And it was all women there working, and they all thought it was going to be great, and we're going to get along great, we're going to conquer the world. And in no time, there was catfights and factions and drama, and she couldn't do the job, the company couldn't be run, and eventually it went out of business. So these ideas all sounded great on paper, but it was just chaos. And at the end of the article, she admitted, I should have just hired guys. And there you go. So guess what? We're needed. We do many, many great important things. Yes, there are plenty that don't like us. And to get that extreme that I want a world without men goes to show that obviously somebody has some serious, serious anger issues. And maybe they had some horrible things happen to them. Okay, but what's the percentage of people out there that had horrible things happen versus just somebody's just pissed off and bitter? But anyhow, I'm going to go through some of the comments because they're definitely entertaining. One comment says, interesting, imaginative piece, but you're also assuming women can't stock shelves, work at power companies, pump gas, drive a truck, and collect garbage. And yeah, they are physically capable of doing all those things, sure, but it doesn't mean they want to. And in a life and death survival situation, again, you can, but it doesn't mean they're going to want to. And a lot of these things require skills that have to be taught and trained and become certified in, and it's not going to happen overnight. That's my point. Look, men are quite capable of cleaning a house and making it look spotless, where you literally can touch anything and not find any bit of dust. Does that mean that we want to do it? Hell no. But then again, a clean house to some degree is in a survival situation. Another gal says, wow, misogynist much? You assume women are totally the weaker sex and incapable of fixing a car or bike, doing industrial level work, keeping infrastructure safe, etc. And goddess forbid a woman has to drive a large delivery truck. Your entire article is sexist garbage. You should update the tags from feminism, men's society, to misogyny, incel society. Somebody obviously is lacking in a sense of humor. Again, yes, all those things can be done. I occasionally see a female UPS or FedEx driver, on occasion, but let me tell you, when I take one look at her, and hey, if she can do the job good, fine. But I look at some of those gals that drive trucks like for FedEx or UPS or Amazon Prime, and they don't exactly look very feminine. They're much more in touch with their masculine side. Not the types that most guys are going to want to date or hook up with or be in a relationship with. Yes, they can drive the trucks. Yes, they can fix this, blah, blah, blah. But again, that's a small, tiny percent. And the opportunities are there for them to have those things, but vast majority don't want to because it's considered manual labor is beneath them. They want to have their master's degrees and PhDs, and I guarantee you a lot of them look down on the gals that do that. Mark my words. Another lady says, wow. Pretty sure that while yes, there will be a vacuum and there will be shortages, the women of the world will figure out how to step up. The internet will still work. Expertise will be shared. Women in both working class and high positions in government and in industry will step forward and help everyone organize, train, etc. The real issue is, once women have cleaned up the mess that was left when the guys all poofed away, 6 months later the men are back to find everything running smoothly without them. What then? Yeah, again, going back to the article that I told you about, I did last summer about the woman who started a company. It was either fashion or marketing. All women, same mentality, and it was a total disaster. There's one thing being physical capable of doing things, and also in theory, and then there's reality. Another comment, wow. Notice all the ones, they're all saying wow. By the way, wow is code for basically like F you. Wow, you really brought into the gender roles, haven't you? Women can and do all these jobs already. I feel sorry for you. Nobody has a sense of humor anymore. The guy, yes, there are some twists of some truth there, but he was joking around, having fun. Get a sense of humor. Again, yes, physically capable, sure. Want to do that? Not so much. But anyhow, guys, that'll be a fun one to do because you got some of these angry ones out there that talk about, all the guys should just disappear or be locked away, and all we need them is for their sperm, blah blah blah. It's ridiculous. We got our parts that we definitely are excellent at, excel at, and we are definitely needed. And guess what? The women have their parts they excel at too, okay? But welcome to today's world. So, all right, guys, that is it for today. I thought it'd be a fun one to go over for a good laugh. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.